Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here. Hopefully, I'm live both on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. Again, I hope this works. As I said yesterday, hope this works properly. But I record them both at the same time nowadays, just to, generally speaking, just to uh, save time because there's only 24 hours in a day and I have so many ideas and plans. Um, but yeah, I'm up early today for once because I couldn't sleep. So I thought instead of just trying to push myself or force myself to sleep, I thought I'd try and get up early and just make the most of uh, of whatever I can. So a lot of time when I do go to sleep, I sort of sleep like a log, unfortunately. So I say unfortunately because I have so many plans. I'd love to sleep less and do more, and if I had more energy, but yeah, I do find it difficult. So I'm worried about suffering from burnout if I go back to sleep. Would I take a while to wake up? But I wasn't sure whether to include this, but I was thinking I feel guilty about it, but I'm quite a pessimist, and I feel guilty when I share negative stuff because I normally like to, if I can, I'd love to share positive stuff and make the world a happier place and be more positive and cheery about life. But I'm quite a pessimist. Like part of me was thinking, feeling really gloomy, which is one of the reasons why I couldn't sleep properly because I was thinking, um, I, I don't know if I believe in hope or there's not much hope, but I hope people will prove me wrong. And I hope these videos will cheer me up and prove me wrong, and I'll be able to get these plans done and be more positive. Hopefully, I suppose contradicting my point, but a pessimist, or, as I say, I'm a pessimist, and a pessimist always wants to be proven wrong. I imagine. I know I do in many cases, but anyway, a lot of these ideas, to be honest, might be very similar to what I covered yesterday, but I'm hoping they'll be at least a little bit different. So anyway, I hope people out there enjoy it, especially members of the black community, the black British community, and black people around the world for Black History Month. I suppose this is all part. Well, this is all part of Black History Month. So here goes. So as I say, for each day, I want to cover different ideas with different themes, just as I did for dyslexia, and I normally do anyway. Each day I have a different theme that I want to work on. So here goes. So number one, I would love to support black people in business with a hashtag like Black in Business, and look at all the possible ways to support black business owners in Britain and possibly all around the world, and seeing how they can get capital and basically look at all the ways to support them. I'm often conscious if I forget anything from each point I raise, but anyway, um, hashtag Black in Business. I would love to support black business owners, and I know I covered this yesterday. I was thinking like blacklisted could be like a directory for black-owned businesses in Britain and maybe even all around the world. There could be like websites, maybe for different countries and sometimes internationally as well. Um, Although I suppose in many ways, if people are going to buy from an area and they want to buy more local stuff because it's easier or it costs less to transport or whatever, they might want to know that. Say black British people might want to support, or people who want to support black British business owners in October might want to have a list of black British businesses specifically. So there could be different websites, but as ever, I'd love to know what you think about each of these ideas and what ideas you have yourself as well. Number two, black in banking. So I'd love to have the hashtag please support black-owned businesses. Hashtag please buy black, as in buy from black-owned businesses. Please buy from black-owned businesses and things like that, and different hashtags like that. And also hashtag please bank black. And I think it'd be interesting to see if there could be more black-owned banks as well as businesses in Britain. I think there are a few in America, so it'd be quite interesting to see if there could be more in Britain as well, and maybe even other countries around the world, especially in Britain, or even European countries as well. But as I say, I'm mainly trying to focus on Britain because it is black. It is British. Sorry, it is Black History Month in Britain. So anyway, but yeah, so supporting black-owned banks and also how banks can support black-owned businesses. And I wonder if black-owned banks would be able to, having more black-owned banks would be able to support black-owned businesses and that kind of thing. As I say, I'm mainly wishing to focus on this in October and possibly November as well. So only one, maybe 2 months in a year when I think of black British businesses and things like Normally, I like to support businesses in Africa and Asia and places like that. But obviously, a business is an annual thing. But I think hopefully I'll be doing my bit to support them. Maybe if other minorities and allies support them in that month, it'll be pretty cool. Which actually reminds me of something which I nearly forgot to say, which is I would love to see how they can network together, like how black-owned businesses and maybe even black-owned banks and whatnot could network together. Number three, black in tech. I'd love to support black tech startups and networks and groups and whatever. Support black people in tech in Britain and again all around the world, really. At least for October or as often as possible. Normally, when it comes to tech, I normally like to focus on trying to come up with ideas to support people from Africa and Australasia. But as I say, for October and possibly November, I'm hoping to focus more also on black British people and black people from across Europe and maybe across the world and see how they can network together. On that note, number four, I think it would be interesting to see what they could do if they network together in these fields. In these fields or areas or whichever term you prefer. So in business, banking, tech, and just generally if they can network together, political lobbies and things like that. I suppose I could have said in point number three, I often think of things like privatization, deregulation of industries, and lower taxes as being more free and having more individual freedom. So having more individuals having their own freedom. Basically individual freedom. So I think if the black community got the lowest possible taxes, which I know I talked quite a bit about yesterday, or at least a fair bit about, I think that would help them to be more free, and it would be a good way to reparate them for historical injustices like slavery, colonization, and things like that, without actually having to force anyone to support them, because it's really just the black community getting to keep more of their own money and that kind of thing. On the subject of reparations, I think some banks like Barclays at the time supported apartheid and also apartheid, however you pronounce it, and also I think some banks historically have been known to have benefited from things like slave trade and things like that. So it is good to see banks. To be honest, some of them are already doing so, but it would also be good to see even more supporting black-owned businesses and things like that to sort of make up for history. But that's my opinion anyway. So I'd love to know what your opinions are. Number five, I'll say it'd be cool for black people to network together and support each other with their ambitions. I'd love to hear about black ambition and what you want to achieve, members of the black community here in Britain and again all around the world. Number six, again, I know I mentioned this point quite a lot, but I'm trying to keep this one a bit different to Monday's plans. So at least a few different ideas, but I know I normally say for number six, the Italian football thing. As a fan of Italian football, I know Italian football can be racist, as I mentioned before, but I hope to see them improve their relations with the black community. And sorry for being repetitive, as I often say, but I would love to see. I was thinking, like, I know it's a bit of an unfair bias, but what if black businesses invested in Italian football, and hopefully that would improve some of the relations, and like, especially if some clubs got investment from black-owned businesses, including from Africa and Britain and elsewhere. I wonder if that would make clubs which have a historical racist attitude in Italy change their opinions, because they'll see that, or even around the world, they'll see, like, let's say if Roma gets a lot of investment from black-owned businesses, then Lazio or other teams that have a more racist leaning might say, "Oh, we're missing out on this investment." So that might change their attitudes. Although I suppose you could say that. I suppose it could be argued that they're only doing that in front, so the racism could become less overt and more covert, if you know what I mean. But I don't know. I suppose it's just an idea I thought I'd put out there. Number seven, again, Celtic. I know I often mention that I would love for Celtic to be rewarded for the good work they do in tackling racism and prejudice. They come from the Irish community historically, and Ireland was also colonised, and they were enslaved as well, as far as I'm aware. So they were the slaves, the white slaves taken to Britain as well. So I suppose they have a historical connection or a similarity or some similar experiences, basically, and that kind of thing with the black community, which hopefully will make some sort of camaraderie. And I know Celtic, as I say, as a club and its fan base, often tackles racism, which is why I, as a POC, wish to support them. I also forgot to say in point number 6, I'd love to see black people reach their full potential and work on their goals and ambitions and see what they can do by working together. And I wonder if, again, maybe I'm being naive as I often can be, and sometimes I do doubt myself, but I do wonder if, or a lot of time even, but I wonder if working together means you don't have to work as hard. Controversial view maybe, but a lot of people say in business you have to always work hard, or at least quite a lot of the time. But I wonder if a lot of people working together can make it easier for each other. Like if people bought from black-owned businesses, would it make it easier for those black-owned businesses? And if they network together, will they make it easier for themselves and each other? Maybe they can learn from each other and things like that. But does it mean that you still have to work as hard, or could it be that you don't have to work as hard and you can work more smart? Me personally, I always prefer to work smart. Sorry, I don't want to lie. So I don't have a hard-working bone in my body, really. If I could get away with it, I'd always try and work smart. But I always like to think of ideas, as you can probably tell, and always try and work on those sort of ideas in a smart way rather than hard. But as I say, I would only work as hard as necessary, but as smart as possible. I mean, some people might call it lazy, but I say smart work is a bit different. I think as long as you get to your end goal, like if I knew a smart working way to raise a lot of money for these causes I talk about, like Italian football, Celtic, and these sorts of causes, dyslexic empowerment and black empowerment, and things like that, I would try and work in that smart way instead of hard. Number 8, again, I'd love to see what they could achieve and by working together and supporting each other, and possibly black people working with other minorities like Asians, mixed race people like myself, or different types of mixed race groups, and just generally minorities as well. As I said before yesterday, it would be cool if there was like an ethnic minority sort of network in the UK as well, where different communities come together, but also allies generally as well. And it'd be cool to see what they could achieve in business, and maybe how other minorities, I say, could support black-owned businesses and support things like the Black British Business Show and exhibitions and things like that. And I'd say they could be blacklisted, which could help and take a negative term into a positive, where they have like a directory of, let's say, Black British owned businesses and things like that. And I know banks and other organisations are supporting the black community. I think that's pretty cool. Even if they only do it one month in a year, at least it's something. I think some people might dispute that, but I think at least it's something. Some people might say it's just a gesture, but at least it's something. Number 9, I think it'd be cool if those black people who have done well in business could inspire others and talk about what it takes to achieve success, how much planning, how much action, organisation, what they can do to improve their businesses and things like that. Maybe being consultants for others and just teaching them what they know and how to improve and things like that. And number 10, I hope to support young black business owners. And I think it'd be cool if young black people learned about finances, banking, how money works, financial education basically, and how to invest, and even learn about businesses, have their own little lemonade stalls and things. I know some already do that kind of thing, but I think it'd be cool to see that even more prevalent. So I hope by the end of this month and November, I will have empowered as many members of the black community as possible. And I'm out. Peace out.